and welcome to the Brazil black metal edition of Rauta. Brazil is not exactly the country which is known for its kind of Nordic style of black metal, even though in Latin America, as we all know, there are bands like Sarcophago and the like which have been paving the way with its kind of a bestial stuff. But now enter 2013, and the band called the Kryptik is born. A few years later, boom, there are a couple of albums which are still worth checking out. So in this review, I want to present you two albums from this Brazilian band. The first one being Through Infinity of Darkness, and the second one being When the Shadows Rise. Not exactly the most memorable album titles, but nevertheless worth checking out. So let's quickly unbox this while I talk you through of this music and which bands this mostly reminds me of. So first we have the first album, obviously, Through Infinity of Darkness. As you can see, not too many tracks, which is kind of a compact in the way of this kind of music that is symphonic melodic black metal. Very much keyboard influenced, or keyboards are playing important part here, and this album is now roughly 2 years old. Only two members presented here, no lyrics whatsoever, so very simple in design. If I would mention one band name with this band, it must be Emperor. This is very much like a homage, almost like a time leap, quantum leap into the past, when Emperor was creating that wonderful album called In the Night Side Eclipse. After that, they obviously went to a different direction, but if we had this kind of a alternate history, we could actually find bands like this appearing right there. I mean, even the Emperor catalog. So enter 2019, and what we have here is When the Shadows Rise. Even these titles are very, very 90s in my opinion, and these are exactly the albums that could have gone out, say, in maybe 1997, 1999, as kind of a being successors to In the Night Side Eclipse. Both albums are very, very synth-filled, very melodic, very symphonic in a way, and kind of having this kind of a warm yet dark, beautiful feeling. Very atmospheric stuff in the sense that, well, what Emperor was before they kind of turned into this more progressive band, even experimental in black metal, kind of lost its way there after In the Night Side Eclipse. Now I know there are very many ways to approach Emperor, and some people praise anthems above In the Night Side Eclipse and so forth, but the point here is to talk about In the Night Eclipse, because these are more or less the kind of torchbearers after that particular album. And in my opinion, both the Kryptik albums are actually doing just nice work doing that. I mean, these are not just cheap copycats, even though you might feel lots of similarities there, because the style is basically the same. Maybe a little bit more polished than those teenagers back in the days in Norway, but still very, very much in the sense of what could have been going on back in the days. Now, considering that these albums are pretty much the same quality, it's kind of hard to pick the so-called winner. So I'm gonna do a little bit of an exception here this time, whether I'm gonna choose the first or the second album to be the winner of the so-called duel review. And the reason is this: these are of same quality, and as such I find hard to, choose the best one. Both are really good in the terms of being this kind of Emperor sub school, but then again, neither is not really close to what In the Night Side Eclipse is. If you're into this style, I think you should be checking both. Then again, if you are allergic to kind of a symphonic melodic black metal in that vein, I think neither of these have any chance to convince you otherwise. But should you choose to listen, or even blindly order or listen to one of these before the other, which one would you choose? I would say start with Through Infinity of Darkness. Not necessarily because it's better, because probably not, but because after the first one, it's kind of easier to go in chronological order and to go for the second one. Now, I was listening this to back, and I am not still sure which one is better. Basically, I could say When is a little bit weaker in the terms. It couldn't that much kind of outplay the first album. But then again, because they're both good albums, it doesn't really matter which way you go. So kind of a bad dual review in that sense. Both are worth checking out, and it doesn't matter really which order you go. So there you have it, my honest opinion about this Brazilian band. Looking forward to hear them more in the future. So there you have it. Go check out the links and do yourself a favor. Enjoy some good Brazilian black metal.